Okay, we are now live, being recorded and live on YouTube. Welcome. My name is Paul Sugarman. This is the Instant Shakespeare Company, and today we have a very special treat. We're reading a new play by Kitty Chen, Mrs. Mustard. As I say, I'm Paul Sugarman, and I'll be playing Sam Butler in this. And Cynthia.
Yes, hello. My name is Cynthia Huffman, and I'm going to be playing stage direction.
Okay. And Michael.
Hi, I'm Michael Gardner. I'm playing Billy.
And Jackie.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Margolis, and I am playing Mrs. Mustard.
And our author, Kitty Chen.
I'm Kitty Chen. I'm going to be reading Betty's Song.
Okay, and just for the way that we do these is when you're in the scene, you have your camera and sound on, and mute them and turn them off when you're not in the scene. And so let's begin. Mrs. Mustard by Kitty Chen.
Time, the present. Setting, a semi-rural area in the United States. Synopsis. Miss Mustard lives alone in a ramshackle cottage, hiking the woods and carrying on long conversations with her estranged beloved son, Billy. She gets by with a little help from her friends, but it becomes increasingly difficult for her to manage with the help of social worker Betty Sung. Mrs. M tries to clean up her act so she can remain in her own home, but when Billy arrives out of the blue after many decades of estrangement, a difficult situation becomes more complicated and emotionally charged as mother and son confront their ancient grief. This is a mostly comedy. There is a fluid interface between reality and the imagination. Much of the action takes place in an alternate reality or imagination. Scene 1. Time, the present. A warm, late spring day. Place, Mrs. Mustard's small bungalow with an open front porch in a semi-rural wooded area in the U.S. This is the real world. Superimposed over the set like an impressionistic paint wash is a film projection of a forest clearing. This picture is dim, blue-gray, shadowy, dappled light through leaves, slightly otherworldly. Upstage, there is a small wooden bridge spanning a stream, which we can hear in the background, and several large rocks suitable for sitting. This is an alternative reality, and who's to say which is realer? Mrs. Mustard, age 60 through 80, sits in the forest. She wears a cotton dress reminiscent of the 1960s-70s, walking shoes, and a bag slung across her shoulders. Her gray hair is in a knot twist, with much falling down. She has the energy, voice, and bearing of younger woman. She sings to a small child who only she can see.
There was an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed that fly. Perhaps she'll die. There was an old lady who swallowed a spider that wiggled and jiggled and wiggled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. But I don't know why she swallowed that fly. Perhaps she'll die. There was an old lady who swallowed a... What did she swallow next? You know the answer, Billy. What likes to catch a spider? A bird. Bird loves to swallow spiders. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider that wiggled and jiggled and wiggled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly, but I don't know why she swallowed that fly. Perhaps she died. There was an old lady who swallowed a what? Oh, damn it, Billy, what catches a fly? If spiders catch flies and birds catch spiders, what catches birds? Oh, a cat. Honestly, whack. She swallowed the cat to catch the bird. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider that wiggled and jiggled and wiggled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly, but I don't know why she swallowed that fly. Perhaps she'll die. There was an old lady who swallowed a, what famous animal loves to taste a cat? It begins with a D. Tricycle. Oh, Billy, Billy, you noodle, you silly noodle. You're my favorite Chinese noodle. Oh, look, Billy, it's raining stars. Oh, my favorite Chinese noodle. Tricycle. That tricky little ghost. He's trying to trick me again. Oh.
What are we going to do about you, Stacy Lee?
And a good day to you, too. You going to say something? Got a grapefruit stuck in your throat?
You're going to have to learn to grow your own food.
I didn't do anything.
Of course not. Stacy Lee never does anything.
They just ran.
You just smiled, your big toothy smile, and they ran.
No, I didn't. I didn't smile. I asked them who they were and what they wanted, and when they didn't reply, I chased them with my garden hose.
What did you expect then?
Whoever died from a garden hose. I was just having some fun. Why didn't they identify themselves?
Stacy, their English isn't very good. You knew very well who they were. Uncle Jack's the only store willing to deliver all the way out here.
I did not know who they were. It was dark, and they had dark faces. Besides, hardly anybody comes around here anymore. How's Janie?
Fine. Here, come get the mail. When are you going to get your driveway paved so I can drive up to your damn place?
Just fine.
I don't even think about it. I'm not going to let her run herself ragged taking care of all your needs anymore.
I didn't mean that. Christ almighty, what do you take me for? I miss her. That's what I meant. Why did she drive out with you?
Thanks, Stacy. Maybe the operation got her down?
I guess it takes time to recover.
Yes, coronary bypass does take a while. Now, if you don't mind, I would like you to pay me. Then I'll be off. Stacy?
I'm a little short right now. My mail got stole lately. Maybe there's checks in there. Wait, I have some checks inside.
She runs inside, returns with a few rumpled checks, hands them to Sam.
What am I supposed to do with these?
I can endorse them over to you. They're still good.
Janie never let you pay her, did she?
I got good credit. I'll pay it back.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, don't swear, Sam. I'll pay it back with interest. I've got money. It's just hard to get to sometimes.
Stacy the Welcher. How long have you been welching off of us?
I'm not a welcher.
I can't do this anymore, and I won't let Janie when she's better.
But Sam, what am I going to do?
Like I was saying, there's always agriculture. I've got an idea. You've got a nice piece of real estate here. Why don't you sell the place and buy a condo in town, or move with your kids wherever they may be? Move to a retirement home, sunny Florida.
You know damn well it's not mine to sell. But as long as I'm breathing, it's as good as mine and no one can touch it. My mom and pop lived to 90. You're going to have to be patient.
Don't expect your friends to trek out to your shack until you stop breathing.
I am not a welcher. I worked hard all my life and saved and never lived it up. I took care of myself all my life. That's more than a lot of women can say.
Why don't you have your house painted? Cut those weeds.
They're not weeds, they're plants. I need them for the Bitter Melon Festival. My plant arrangements were a big hit last time.
Well, and why don't you cut your hair? You look like a leftover hippie.
Like a what? I am not a leftover hippie, and I'm proud.
Okay, that's it. I gotta go.
Go on, I don't need fancy shit. I got my own well and the woods and all the sky and air I want. Go away.
Delighted. Good day.
Oh, no, wait, Sam, wait. There's a cardinal couple. You love birds. Oh,
He's gone. She sits for a moment, then looks through grocery bag, packages of raiment, canned foods, toilet paper, toothpaste, then shoves everything back in, sits down and starts to cry. She flips through the mail, spots a letter, and grabs it.
A letter. Billy Lee, Yankee, Australia. A real letter from Billy.
The lights slowly change. The shadowy forest envelops the stage. Young Billy enters in the dim light. He is about 12, Eurasian, skinny, sensitive, somewhat waif-like.
Billy? Is it you, my Billy? How old do you know, Billy? I've lost track.
The lights fade on him and he disappears. She stares at his letter. Lights and sound suddenly brighten. Bright, swirling colors and strobe lights, sound of guitars and a loud cheering audience. We are at a folk rock concert. Mrs. M picks up a guitar. Cheers grow louder as she steps forward, lets her hair down and shakes it free. She becomes her younger self. She strums the guitar intro and sings Look Up and Down That Long Lonesome Road with a loud, raucous driving rhythm, a mix of Janis Joplin and Joan Baez. She sings out, full voice, no holds barred. She is in her glory.
Look up and down that long, lonesome road. Hang down your head and cry, my Lord. Hang down your head and cry. I wish to the Lord I'd never been born or died when I was a baby. My Lord died when I was a baby.
Lights start to
Not be
fade
here.
on her as her voice is superseded by a recording of her earlier days, amplified.
I would not be here eating this cold cornbread, supping this salty gravy, my Lord, supping this salty gravy.
Lights fade to black. Recording, singing continues to end.
They say all good friends must part someday. Why not you and I, my Lord? Why not you and I, my Lord? Let's look up and down that long, lonesome road. Hang down your head and cry, my Lord. Hang down your head and cry.
End of scene. Scene 2. A week or two later, Mrs. M is sitting on her porch steps with her guitar, softly humming, Look Up and Down That Long, Lonesome Road, but as a slow, slightly mournful ballad. Betty, age 40 through 50, enters.
What the heck?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Lee. I didn't mean to startle
That's
you.
Kitty.
Who are you? What do you want?
Janny sent me. Janny Butler?
Oh, well, that's okay then. What does that mean? Janie sent me. Why did she send you? Who are you? Is she
She's
okay?
She's absolutely fine. I'm Betty Sung. How are you?
You're one of those social
If I
people.
sit,
I can tell
that's
by the
quite
briefcase and the
do you
shoes.
mind if I sit? That's quite a hike up the driveway.
Oh, well, you want to assess me?
What?
You want to assess me?
Wait. Let's go back. You're one of those social people.
You're one of those social people. I can tell by the briefcase and the shoes.
I'm wearing sensible pumps. Aren't these awful? I'm not from social services. I am a social worker. I just came from the office. That's why I look, well, never mind. I'm not a geriatric social worker. I work in spousal abuse primarily, so I'm a little out of my element here, but I'm here because Janny wants to make sure you're doing okay. She hadn't seen you for a while. She thought it would be helpful if I made a little assessment.
You
Okay.
want to assess me?
I just want to talk to you. It won't take long, okay? How are you doing, Mrs. Lee?
Good.
Good. I'm good too. Well, we have some standard questions here to help us get started. Can we go inside and sit down?
No,
Well, I'd like to see your living situation if you don't mind. It would help me.
I do mine. It's fine. It's a mess, but it's fine.
Well, it's not a home visit unless I can see your home. It will give me a better idea of how we can help you.
I didn't ask for your help. I don't have strangers in my home, understand?
All right. We'll talk out here then.
Betty sits on porch steps, takes a notepad and pen from her bag. Mrs. M remains standing.
This is a customary procedure. Don't get bent out of shape. There are 10, make it 6 areas or categories of questions, okay? The first is your mood.
I have a good mood.
Good. This will be fun. In the last 4 weeks, have you ever felt sad or depressed? And if so, how many times? Take your time.
Why 4 weeks? What?
It doesn't matter.
Well, why 4 weeks?
It doesn't matter.
Why not 3 or 5?
Okay, 3 or 5.
Then why did you say 4?
It's arbitrary. In the last month or year or whatever. Why are you staring at me?
You look just like my kids.
Your kids.
You remind me of my Billy. He's about your age now, probably 40, 50, something, you know, 40 or 50. He lives in Australia. He's a captain of a boat. You Chinese?
Chinese American, yes.
I knew it. I can tell all you Asians apart. That's what you like to be called these days, right? Asians, Chinese, not good enough for you. Where are you from?
New York City. You married a Chinese man?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's very interesting. Let's get back to the questions. I don't want to take up your whole day. Have you experienced any sadness or depression recently?
I'm never depressed. But I'm real sad. I don't get to drive anymore. Had to give up driving a few years ago. Last time I drove to town was the Bitter Melon Festival. My dear old Daisy, she had 100,000 miles on her.
Okay, you like driving. We'll go to driving. Do you currently own a car?
Didn't you hear me? I said I had to give it up. That means I don't currently drive a car.
Why did you stop driving?
Where do you think Mrs. Non-geriatric social worker? I'm too old to commit manslaughter anymore.
You're too old to commit anymore.
And I hate jails.
Hate jails. Good. That was how many years ago?
Whenever the last Bitter Melon Festival was.
What's a bitter melon festival?
Oh, they're melons, long and green and bitter and ugly. Asians love them, full of antioxidants.
What's up for bitter melons? That's bizarre. When was that?
Whenever they get around to it, they haven't had one for a few years now.
So it was a few years ago?
What did you say?
How many years ago, approximately?
Huh?
Do you have trouble hearing? I said, how many years ago, approximately?
A few.
I'd really appreciate it if you tried to cooperate.
I'm cooperating. It's my ears. They get stuffed up all of a sudden. I get dizzy spells.
Dizzy spells?
Yeah, it comes and goes just like that.
When was the last time you had a physical examination?
About 8 or 10 years ago.
What? You haven't seen a doctor in 18 or 19 years?
I'm sure I have. They're out walking around everywhere.
No, they are not.
Pretty much everywhere.
They are not. They are not walking out around everywhere.
I see them.
You're hearing me quite well, Mrs. Lee.
Mustard.
Mustard?
Mammy, Nanny, Mustard. That's me. That's my new name.
Oh, no.
I lost my real name. It's around here somewhere. So I found it a Mammy because I was a Mammy to 3 children. I lost them too. And my husband was Manny, lost him ages ago. He was a professor, taught at state. Actually, I got rid of him and I put mustard on everything I eat and drink. I put mustard on everything I eat and drink. Sometimes I just crack myself up.
She can't stop laughing. Betty shuts her notepad.
Why don't we finish up another day?
Oh, no, we don't. That's it. I'm not going to be conducted by anyone in any category. Who do you think you are? You think you can walk in here and start interrogating me like that snot-faced butler knows your way in anytime you like I got no rights, like I'm a nothing?
You're right. You're quite right. I'm sorry.
That's better.
I'm very sorry. I tried to call, but your phone is disconnected.
Damn right.
Can we start again, Mrs. Lee?
Master.
Can we just talk, Mrs. Mustard? No questionnaire, no categories. Friendly talk. I promised Jenny I'd talk with you.
You tell I'm doing fine. I take good care of myself. Look at me.
Well, you're in very good shape.
I walk 3 to 4 miles every day through the woods, up to Stewart's Bridge, all over the country, if the weather is good.
Wow, that's better than me. I hate exercise. But do you like living out here alone? Isn't it a little lonely or scary sometimes? I mean, what if something happened to you? A fall, a fire, a wild animal?
There's no wild animals around here.
I just meant anything could happen. You don't even have a working phone.
Why should I? I haven't had a call in months.
Let me ask you a question. As people get older, and we all do, it becomes harder to take care of ourselves. I know how difficult it is to have to leave your long-term home. I just moved my father to a retirement facility.
Facility,
He
that
wanted
sounds,
his independence.
that sounds
by
like a
God.
toilet or something.
Listen to me. He wanted his independence by God, but he got sick, just the flu. But in the elderly,
I hate social contact.
wait, go back. What's the question?
What are you eating? We have 2 different scripts here, I think. I hate social. Do you like to eat? No. What do you think?
No.
I don't know where you are. You have a different script. So
All right, but he got sick, just the flu. But in the elderly, you say, what's the question?
What's the question? Where's that? I don't know where you are. Where are you? Give me
Page
some lines.
14, or the bottom of page 14.
Bottom
What's
of page 14. I'm already on 15. I say, why should I? I haven't had a call in months. That was the
No,
bottom of
go
14.
back to 14.
Go to let me ask you a question.
Okay, let me ask you a question. As people get older, and we all do, it becomes harder to take care of ourselves. I know how difficult it is to have to leave your long-term time home. I just moved my father to a retirement facility. He wanted his independence by God, but he got sick, just the flu. But in the elderly,
Oh, well, facility, that sounds like a toilet or something. I hate social contact.
do you like to eat?
No, what do you think?
What are you eating with no stove and no refrigerator?
I have a stove and a refrigerator.
You don't have gas and electricity.
Oh, I can't have everything.
What do you eat, Mrs. Lee?
Mustard.
What do you eat, Mrs. Mustard, now that Sam isn't delivering food?
I still got food. You'd be surprised how much you can forage from the woods this time of year. You have to know what you're doing, though, so you don't poison yourself.
Forage.
Now you mention it. You don't suppose you could pick up a few things from me, toothpaste, things like that? Just so Janie gets back on her feet.
No, I can't.
Why not? You're a social worker. You want to do good.
Sam warned me about that.
Stamps her feet.
Scumbag, he's behind this, isn't he?
How do you get around at night without lights?
I get around just fine.
Do you use flashlights?
Maybe not.
Candles? Candles?
Candles?
Yes.
In a wood house? What do you think I am, a goddamn idiot?
I just asked.
Mrs. M gives Betty sharp little shoves with each underlined word. Betty puts up her arms in defense and then shoves back.
Ask, just ask. Cut it out, understand? I hate spies.
Hey, stop that. Stop it. Ow! Stop it. Oh,
They stand off for a moment. Betty, shaken, backs away, turns, and gathers her things to go.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Mrs. Sung, what are you going to tell them?
Betty turns to look at Mrs. M. Pause.
I don't know.
Oh, no,
She's
please. This is my home. I love my home. I love this place. I'm never lonely. I'm never scared. I know it. I know all the sounds and smells. I know the hills and valleys inside and out. I know the drafty places and the cozy places. I know every inch of this porch, these steps. I don't need light to get around at night. How can I leave my beautiful trees? How can I leave my floor, my dear floor? It's worn smooth as a baby's bottoms. Never catch a splinter. And my water, I have my own well. Best water in the world. I dug it myself. This is my place. I own this place. It's in the only thing in the world I ever owned. Please, please, Mrs. Sung, how can I leave Mr. and Mrs. Cardinal? Mrs. Cardinal is very narcissistic. You should see her. She's so pretty and she knows it. She plays with herself in the mirror. Want to see me do it, please?
I have to go now.
But Mrs. M has started. Her face turns beak-like. She flutters her wings, twitches her tail, makes clicking sounds, cocks her head, and hops up to the mirror.
She flutters up and down against the mirror, up and down. Then she flies across the porch, jumps all the way around in just one hop, and then zooms back to the mirror, real low on the ground like this. Yeah.
Mrs. M stumbles and falls into the old couch. She lies there, fluttering her arms and legs and laughing. Betty can't help laughing.
Johnny said you were a famous performer. You toured all over the country.
Singer, I did sing all over the country. Famous, well, I always wonder what I might have been if I didn't get married and all that.
I actually saw a bird. Do cardinals really play like that?
Just the Mrs. The Mr. Oh, he knocks you out with that red, her underwings are the softest rose. Every time she flicks her wings, it's like she's flashing. Anyway, he feeds the kids the peanuts and she plays in the mirror.
He feeds the kids?
He's a good dad. She's too busy playing. Maybe she figures she laid the egg so she did her job.
Well, thanks for the bird show. Well, it was very nice to meet you.
Wait, I'm sorry I pushed you. I don't know what came over me. It's just that Sam Butler, he doesn't like me. I don't know why.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what they want me to do. By the way, I'm Betty Sung. I'm Betty Sung.
Yeah, well, you have lines that say,
I
personally think people should stay in their own.
I didn't realize
you have a different script than I have.
I personally think people should stay in their own home for as long as they're capable. You seem capable. You certainly have a strong shove.
He can't make me go. He can't. Whatever they did to Becky, they made her go. He called the M.S. or cops or something, that scumbag son of a bitch.
Our situation was very dangerous, Mrs. Mustard. You see, Sam Butler thinks of this town as his baby. He wants his baby to be happy and well behaved. See, the area is changing, all sorts of new people. You know that. He wants the best for you. You may find it more comfortable to live in a protected environment, some kind of retirement place.
No, I'll never move to one of those places. I'd kill myself. I'd kill somebody. I'd kill myself. I'd kill somebody else. Please, isn't there something you can do?
Maybe there's something you can do.
What?
It might help. At least get him off your case.
What?
Clean up your act.
Huh?
Spruce things up. Try to be more orderly. How's that
I don't
sound?
want you to go inside.
Hey, why don't we go inside?
Hey, wait.
The home situation is key. You've got to trust me. Otherwise, I can't help you. Mrs. Mustard?
Nuts.
Mrs. M, growling, opens the door and they go into the house. Betty rubbernecks. End of scene. Scene 3. Later, in the forest clearing, Mrs. M, and young Billy, aged 12 to 14, are seated on the rocks.
Retirement facility. That's what they call them. Huh. Everybody lives in a room off a long hallway. Well, they put pretty pictures and flowers on the walls and rugs on the floors and those smelly room fresheners, but it's a two-bit motel, and everybody who thinks otherwise is dumb or drunk.
Maybe there's some good things about it.
Michael, you say maybe there's some good things about it.
I did. You can't hear me?
No.
I said maybe there's some good things about it.
What?
Your meals are all made for you. No shopping, no cleaning.
I never clean anyway.
You know, people are watching out for you. I mean, what if something happens to you? You know, a fall, a fire, a wild animal?
Why do you say that?
What?
A fall, a fire, a wild animal.
I don't know.
I heard that before.
I don't think you should live here by yourself, Ma. It makes me a little worried.
You worry about me?
Yes.
Thank you, Billy. That makes me feel good. You're a good boy, Billy. Hey, I got something for you.
Yeah? What?
Close your eyes, no peeking.
He closes his eyes. Mrs. M pulls something out of her pack.
You can open them now.
She holds out a handful of colorful gummy bears.
I always carry them in my bag just for you.
Gummy bears. I hate gummy bears.
No, you love them.
No, I hate them.
You love them. You used to.
You love them. You buy them for us and eat them for yourself.
Are you saying I'm a liar, an idiot?
No.
Are you saying I can't remember right? Your mom's too dumb to get things right? I'm not a genius like your dad.
I'm not saying that. They get stuck in my teeth. It feels so sticky, gooey.
All candy gets stuck in your teeth.
Okay. Let me try it again.
Never mind.
Please, Ma, I want to try it again, please.
She hands him a gummy bear. He chews it thoughtfully.
It's good. Yeah, it's really good. It's delicious.
See, what did I tell you?
You were right, Ma. I should always listen to you.
Gummy bears aren't number one for no reason.
Here, you have some too.
She takes one. They smile at each other, chewing in comfortable silence.
They can't force me into one of those places, can they?
Who's that?
The good Pastor Butler. He moved here after you left, and that Chinese social worker. She says she wants to help me, but it could be trickiness.
What's the matter with those places anyway?
You got to talk to people. You got to get all dressed up to go into feeding pen. You got to say, "Good morning, Mrs. So-and-so. How is your gout today? Did you have a good bowel movement?"
Ma.
That's what they talk about. I went to see Becky there. She looked like she was her dead mother. She ate so much. I said to them, "You folks need a good scare. That'll get your bowels moving."
You didn't.
Oh, yes, I did. I made a horrible screechy face. Be like this. You get scared and run to the bathroom.
My too much.
I'm so happy to hear you laugh, Billy. I can still make you laugh.
Yeah, you're always good at that. You could always make me laugh. You can make us laugh.
We had a good time, didn't we? Martha and Brian. Well, they were too old to be fun, but you and me, we had fun.
Yeah, fun and games with old Ma. Life was always a barrel of laughs.
What do you mean by that?
What?
What do you mean by that?
What?
Fun and games, like life was always a barrel of laughs. Fun and games with old Ma, there was an edge.
No.
You meant something by that.
No, Ma.
Yes, you did. You did.
Light begins to fade from Billy. He appears to recede.
Wait, Billy, sweetheart, I got something for you. I brought stocks. I saved every penny I ever made. I never lived high up the hog, never took vacations, never drank or brought nice things. Everything I have is for you. You'll never forgive me, will you?
Billy is gone. The forest setting fades away. Lights up on a real-world house. Evening, she gets up and lights candles. She takes his letter from an inner pocket and strokes it fondly. She looks up at the night sky.
A huge bowl of stars. Do you remember when the stars showered down on us?
End of scene. Scene 4, a month or two later. Early fall. Interior of Mrs. M's house furnished with the bare necessities and lots of clutter. Kitchen upstage is partially visible. Bedroom and bathroom are offstage. Electric lights are on. Betty is looking through piles of paper. Mrs. M is offstage in the bedroom.
Mrs. M, listen, I got this newspaper clipping. It says, when germs talk, maybe humans can answer. Do you want this? Germs are always relevant.
Throw it out.
What?
Throw it out.
Yes, ma'am. Don't
Another-
let automated 401k lull you to sleep.
Out.
Out. Anything you say, ma'am. It's looking better. What are you doing in there?
I tell you, I'm clearing up, cleaning up.
Can I help you? Can I help you?
Don't come in here if you want to live long.
Yes, ma'am.
Betty looks through a box of folders, albums, loose photos.
Must be photos of the kids.
What did you say?
Just talking to myself.
That's the first sign of old age.
Oh, I've been old since I was 10. And don't you have any wedding pictures or baby pictures, Billy?
No answer. Betty finds a folder of news clippings and photos.
Hey, is this? Wow, look at you, red hair.
Red? Oh, that must have been 1975 or 85.
Oh, you opened for Theodore Bickel. I've heard of him.
Everybody opened for Theodore
No,
Bickel.
no, the Newtown Sentinel. Listen to this. Our tiny stage was graced with the robust presence of Stacy Pollock Lee, whose raucous rendition of Won't You Come Home, Bill Bailey almost caused a riot and raised the roof. Wow.
Big deal. Newtown Sentinel.
I don't know that song. Is it old?
You don't know Bill Bailey? Where are you from, child?
I'm from New York City, Mama, and I'm Asian.
Mrs. M enters wearing a dress and pumps, hair neatly done.
Ooh, look at you. You look out of this world. Let me fix your collar.
Do I look orderly?
You look so orderly. Hey, will you do a raucous rendition for me, please?
You mean sing? I don't know if I can still sing.
Oh, of course you can.
Okay, Ma, if you say so, Ma, I'm starting now. Here you go.
Mrs. M starts singing slowly, tentatively. She picks up a spoon and taps a pot. We hear a faint background sound of trumpets and trombones, Dixieland style. She warms up as the music grows louder. She starts dancing around. Few more lines and Betty gets up and starts dancing and banging the floor, whatever.
Won't you come home, Bill Bailey? Won't you come home? I'm on the whole night long. I do the cooking, honey. I pay the rent. I know I done you wrong. Remember that rainy evening I threw you out with nothing but a fine-tooth comb? Yeah, I know I'm to blame. Now ain't that a shame? Bill Bailey, won't you please come home? Won't
The
you
music is in full force. Betty twirls Mrs. M under her arm and vice versa.
Won't you come home, Bill Bailey? Won't you come home? I'm on the whole night long. I do the cooking, honey. I pay the rent. I know I done you wrong. Remember that rainy evening I threw you out with nothing but a fine-tooth comb. Yeah, I know I'm to blame. Now ain't that a shame? Bill Bailey, won't you please come home? One more time.
Mrs.
I know
M
I'm to blame. Well, ain't that a shame? Bill Bailey, won't you please come home? I'm gonna die. God, I'm gonna die.
Mrs. M collapses on the couch, gasping.
I haven't had so. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh, my hair fell down.
I'll pick it up then.
They laugh, humming. Betty returns to the photos. Mrs. M experiences dizziness but hides it. She tries to straighten her hair, but makes it messier.
I know.
That picture, maybe it's from Peoria, maybe. Or Doug.
Picture
I never
from-
played the big city. It was too late for me.
Why did I ask you the question before you answer it? Where was this picture from?
It looks like Woodstock.
It is it looks like Woodstock.
It is Woodstock.
You have mud on your midriff.
It must have rained real hard.
It looks like a handprint.
I was young. I had a lot of fun back then. Didn't you?
No, I'm going to toss these weeds. I know you want to make those dried plant things to sell at the festival. I'll help you collect new ones, okay?
Betty gathers the plants, gets a broom and dustpan from kitchen. She doesn't notice Mrs. M's discomfort.
Why did you have fun when you were young?
I don't know.
Nothing a good husband and kids can't fix.
Yeah, you cut that out. It's too late.
Never too late. Could you help me? My arms don't bend.
Sure, I'll get your hairbrush.
She exits to bedroom.
No, don't go in there.
Mrs. M's dizziness intensifies. She tenses up, frightened.
What a mess! Oh, God damn it, God damn it! Look at this and this. Oh, my, oh.
Miss Betty storms in holding a bunch of burned down candles on a saucer, wax overflowing.
Look at these. What's the matter? What's the matter?
Betty, could you please get me the rock?
There is an irregular shaped, shiny, coal black rock on a shelf in the living room. Betty gives it to Mrs. M, who holds onto it as if for comfort.
Are you okay?
Mrs. M nods. They are silent for a while.
Oh, I'm sick. Why? You know.
Don't scold. I'm not well. Did I ever tell you about this rock?
Yes.
It's a meteorite. Maybe. Billy and I found it together long ago.
I know.
We used to go on long walks together in the woods up to Stewart's Bridge every day. We'd walk and sing and sing and sing. He had a beautiful voice, clear as a bell. He'd sing the melody and I'd do harmonize. Then one day there was a huge shower of stars in the sky like fireworks. It was so beautiful, but dangerous. I could have been killed by this thing, this rock. He pushed me so safely and saved my life.
Saved your life.
And saved my life. And saved my life. He must have been 5, 10. Then he started going on nature hikes with his father. With his father, I've kept this by me ever since.
Mrs. M, what are these?
You know how long it's been since I saw him?
You said you never use candles in the house.
It's been 20 years since I saw him.
20 years? That's outrageous.
Nah, I always said you kids got to have your own lives. Don't you worry about me. I don't ever want to be a burden on you.
What kind of a lousy son?
The sound of a car. They startle.
That damn butler, he's early.
No, he's not coming till next week.
I thought it was today.
Betty jumps up to look out the window.
Who the hell is
What
that?
the hell is that?
She throws away candles, drags Baggy into kitchen, returns to stare at Mrs. M, then goes outside. Billy Lee, a Eurasian man in his late 40s, enters carrying a suitcase and wearing winter clothes. He looks exhausted, haggard, and tense.
Can I help you?
I'm looking for Mrs. Eustacia Lee. Have I come to the right place?
Yes, you are.
You're right there. I'm Billy Lee. You must be Betty's son. How do you do?
Yes, fine, thank you.
Sam Butler's been singing your praises. I appreciate all you've done for Eustacia.
Eustacia.
You don't mind if I sit for a minute? I'm fresh off the boat, so to speak. I'm suffering traumatic stress syndrome.
Please sit down and rest.
Oh, thanks.
Excuse me, I'll just,
Starts to go inside, turns back to him.
why in God's name didn't you? Oh,
She shakes her head and goes inside.
What?
Mrs. M, there's someone to see you. He's come a long way.
A gentleman caller? Do I look orderly?
It's Billy, your son.
Mrs. M lurches up. The rock drops out of her hand. She holds onto a chair for support. Betty goes to her, straightens her collar and fixes her hair, then opens the door to let Billy enter. Billy goes outside to the porch. Betty goes outside to the porch.
Who's that? Who's that? Billy?
Hello, Stacy.
End of scene. Scene 5. Next evening, we hear Mrs. M clattering around off stage in the kitchen. Billy wanders around the room, which now looks fairly orderly, if old and worn. There is a tension underlying their talk, which they ignore or cover with laughs. When acrimony surfaces, they back off.
So how'd you like my cooking?
That souffle was pretty good.
Pretty good?
That souffle was aces. You want to see the pictures of the kids?
What's aces?
The tops, A1, absolutely delicious.
Oh, isn't that sweet of you? And you laughed your head off, your hyena head off of me making a fancy dish.
Yeah, better than that ramen junk you gave us all the time.
What did you say?
Nothing. Come, sit down.
He picks up a framed photo.
Who are these people?
Easy man souffle. You use old breadcrumbs instead of flour.
Splendid. Is this the band you were with?
Now we're going to have something special.
Mrs. M breezes in with 2 coffee cups with sauces. She is momentarily confused.
Is this you? Christ almighty. I recognize your guitar, but the red hair.
He sees her staring at him.
I'm not used to seeing my
What's
Billy
wrong?
here, all grown up.
Don't call me that.
What?
My Billy, don't call me that.
Sure, okay. What's wrong with my Billy?
Thank you.
Of course it's me. We did a tour of the dumps in the Midwest, ate ramen every day. We, the Lee family, ate it too. Remember how you loved it? Anyway, I needed red hair to cheer myself up. Now we'll have a little chair of our own.
After dinner coffee. How posh. Cups with saucers.
She pretends to be a hoity-toity lady carrying a curved coffee service on a tray.
Nothing but the pushiest for my... How many sugars do you wish, sir?
1, if you please. Thank you. When'd you get the cups? With saucers.
Betty gave them to me.
The social worker gives you gifts.
Big deal. I'm sure she was getting rid of them.
She mimes
Two,
She mimes delicately,
3.
putting imaginary sugar cups into cups with tongues. She mimes
4.
handing him the coffee. She mimes handing him the teacup. He mimes drinking, peaky in air.
It's a little sweet.
Oh, sweets for my little sugar. Oh, but you're so grown up now.
That's what happens after several decades. So, you did join the Natty Natwick band. That's the name. Natty Natwick. Oh, God, what a dingbat.
It wasn't the band, but I made a living. We never got to make an album, though. The group fell apart. Scotty went rock. Felicity had a baby. Natty OD'd.
Isn't everybody?
After I went to Maine to be near Martha, that didn't last long.
That was years ago. Yeah, she wrote me about that. It was about the time I left.
Yeah, you never said goodbye to me.
I didn't know where the hell you were. Nobody did.
Me neither. We even had health insurance. Natty was a good guy.
I bet he was. What did you do all those years after Maine?
I did all right, got in some arts and crafts business, kept singing whenever I could. Me and old Jack Spratt there, the guitar. Sometimes on the street. Back then, you could make a decent living that way. I moved back here about 20, 30 years ago after your father died.
You hated this town.
I didn't have a whole lot of choices. I didn't hate this town. I hated feeling dumb, itchy, unimportant. I wanted to do something important. I was good. I was really good. I could have, oh, never mind. That's my life in a nutshell. Do you want coffee? I've got instant somewhere, but I was thinking of brandy.
Brandy, you are getting posh.
Wait to see all the goodies I got in here.
Mrs. M takes a key from her pocket. She unlocks the cabinet door and lets it swing wide open. Inside, we see 2 bottles of liquor, accordion file folders, boxes, an old-fashioned cash box, and what looks like a dozen packages of bulk candy. Billy looks inside.
Is this where you keep the crown jewels?
Yeah, all my gold ducks.
You mean ducats, gold ducats.
Duckers, whatever. I'm not a genius like your father.
Billy pulls out a file folder.
A file folder? Somehow, Stacy, I don't think of you as someone who files important papers, stock certificates,
papers?
stuff like that.
Stock certificates, stuff like that.
Oh, stock certificates?
I told you I bought stocks and you didn't believe me.
What?
The butcher told me to buy Microsoft. That was back in the 80s. And kaboom!
Nice butcher. You lucked out.
Who knows? A
What's
whole
it worth
lot.
now?
I don't know how much it's worth. A whole lot. Enough for you and me.
5 pounds of gummy bears? I hate that stuff.
No, you love them.
No, I hate them.
I'm sure you love them. Look at this.
She takes out a brandy bottle, closes, and locks the cabinet.
Most expensive stuff in the store. I saw some beautiful blue bottle, but it wasn't expensive enough.
She pours brandy into the coffee cups.
Whoa, those hard shot glasses.
One for you and one for me. Cheers.
Here's to you.
Cheers to you, my Billy. Come home to me.
I told you not to call me that.
Well, cheers anyway.
I am not your Billy, and I am not home.
Okay. I told you all about my life. Now you tell me about yours.
I have a family. You know that, don't you?
Martha told me.
3 kids. You're growing up so fast. The boy's the youngest. Want to see the photos?
Where's Yankee? You said it was way down south.
South Australia. I'll show you the map.
On the way to get his briefcase, he sees the black rock on a shelf.
Our rock! You're the one who took it. I should have known.
I wanted to keep with me always. We found it together, remember? On one of our walks through the woods. Remember how we sang together? You saved my life.
It wasn't like that.
It fell from the universe, way out there, almost hit me.
Nothing came near you. We saw a meteor shower. Then we found the rock. That's all.
You said it was a meteorite.
Well, maybe it is, or maybe someone tossed it out of an airplane window.
You said it was a meteorite.
Why don't you have it tested?
But you said it was a meteorite.
What the hell did I know? I was a kid.
Why did you say it was a meteorite?
Because that's what you wanted to hear. We only said what you wanted to hear. Let's forget it. End of discussion. Yeah. What the hell am I looking for? A map. Oh, you want to see where Yanaki is? That big thing is Australia, see?
And you live in that part of Australia that's the closest to the poles?
Just one pole, the South Pole.
Of course. You can only live near one pole at a time. What a dumbo I am. I never went to college like you. All of you.
That's Australia. It's very big.
Do you want it, Billy? You can keep it if you want. The rock?
No, you keep it.
If you want it, you should have it.
I don't want the bloody thing.
Okay.
There's Yanaki at the tip of the peninsula.
Why'd you go all the way to the other side of the world?
I couldn't go any further. The world is round.
Huh?
Well, if I went further, I'd be coming around the other side. If I came around on the other side, I'd be getting closer.
That's funny. You couldn't get far enough away from me, could you? That's real funny. You like it there? Yanaki.
No place like it in the world. Blue sky, ocean as far as you can see. If you look real hard, you can see huge mountains of ice floating on the sea. And if you close your eyes, you can see the South Pole.
Mrs. M squeezes her eyes shut. He laughs in spite of himself.
I can see it. There's a pole.
You look like a little kid.
Here comes a polar bear.
Polar bears live at the North Pole.
They don't like the South Pole?
No,
Why not?
that's the way they are.
You ever see the pole for real?
Sure. I worked at a marine research center. We went on expeditions in an icebreaker. We got near the pole, so I must have seen it.
Ooh, got stripes on it.
Sure. Red and blue stripes that swirl around like a barber's pole. Every day the penguins line up in front of the poles and haircuts.
Get haircuts.
Get hair.
Oh, Billy, I'm so happy. I can't believe it's really you. You're really here with me.
She tries to give him a hug. Reflexively, he pulls away. Silence. Hurt, angry, she takes a big swallow of brandy.
Gotta take it easy.
Oh, my Billy, steering an icebreaker boat to the South Pole.
I am not your Billy.
I didn't say my Billy. I said, oh my. Then I said Billy, steering a boat.
Do not call me that, ever. Do you understand?
Don't talk to me like that. Who do you think you are? You're just like your father. Oh, don't talk to me like that.
They back off.
I sat in a boat. I did not steer a boat. I didn't push a single button or flick a switch. I collected plankton from the water, just like Dad and I did in the lake in town. I came home with my prized algae and tadpoles in buckets, which you always threw out without telling me, remember? That's what I do. I collect weeds from water.
At least you're consistent. Not a bad thing in life. So here we are. What'd you come here for, Billy?
To see you. It's been a long time.
You came to see me. That's real Philly of you. You didn't come here for something more substantial.
What do you have that's substantial?
Property around here is skyrocketing. I go all the way back to the woods. I'm sitting on a little gold mine here.
I didn't come here for your gold ducks or gold mine or your stocks or other financial instruments. I had some very bad problems a while ago. And I suddenly thought of you, just like that. Boom. I haven't given you much thought for years. Then suddenly there you are, rising up from the murky pool like a prehistoric monster. I started to think about my mother. I wonder what my mother looks like. I wonder how my mother is getting on. I saw the sick, stagnant water that never went under the bridge.
So you thought you'd show up on my doorstep to take a look-see?
I wrote you.
You never wrote to me once in all these years.
I wrote to you at least once.
He hands her his letter unopened.
It's from you?
Why did you put it in the freezer?
I don't know. I thought it would keep better. I was afraid it would vanish like you. Like you
Open
do.
it.
You always disappear.
Open it.
Open.
It says you're coming to see me. I know that already, silly.
She pushes it back at him.
Oh, Billy, I got big plans.
Yeah?
Yeah, really big. I've been working on it ever since you arrived. I'm going to build a special wing for you.
What?
A special wing for Captain Billy. your own entrance and kitchen and bathroom and everything. I won't bother you. I'll never call you my Billy. You can have your own life, play by the lake and collect plants and seeds and bugs. I'll go on my hikes and we can get together and walk in the woods together and sing and sing and sing and sing and sing.
End of scene. Scene 6. A couple days later, Billy and Betty are visiting Sunny Gardens.
It's really smart of you to be looking now. Most people wait for an emergency before they start to look. But Mr. Lee, you do know the best solution by far is for older people to stay in their own homes if they're capable. That's the universal consensus by all the experts.
Yes, I'm sure. Oh, look at that. Iris bed. My father grew them. We had a huge swath of irises in the garden. They were magnificent.
I don't think she cares for gardens and flowers. She prefers the woods, wild things.
Yeah, you know her well. She grew weeds in our backyard.
She's got plenty of weeds now. She uses them for her dried plant arrangements. As I was saying, staying in one's own home is the best for the person, the family, the caregivers. It's most humane. And bottom line, it's much less costly.
Uh-huh.
Do whatever is necessary to keep them in their homes. That's what we're doing, making her place livable. Some kitchen work, a paint job.
Enlarging the house?
Oh, she's just dreaming about that. She's gotten very extravagant since you arrived.
Plant arrangements, huh? She always was crafty. I mean, good with crafts.
You're interesting. She's going to sell them at the Bitter Melon Festival tomorrow.
A festival for bitter melons?
That's what I thought too.
My father grew bitter melons. People thought they were diseased.
Now they're celebrating them. It has something to do with community coming together through a common
Bitterness.
I'm going to help her out at her floral booth. Why don't you join us?
Sure, maybe. Where is it?
It's in the parking lot behind the mall. You must have seen the new mall.
How can you miss it? I don't recognize this town.
It's so nice you finally come to visit. You know, your mother talks about you all the time.
Yeah?
She always talks about your walks together in the woods.
Yeah?
It's her happiest memory, singing and walking with you every day.
Walks in the woods. How idyllic. No, I was her pocketbook.
Pocketbook.
Well, you know what a pocketbook is.
Of course, I know what a pocketbook is. I don't exactly get your meaning.
It doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
You saved her from a falling meteorite, she said.
I hope you don't believe everything she says. Or should I say anything she says?
Well, you were away for such a long time. Her memory's bound to be a little faulty. How does it feel to be back after how many years?
Feels like a nightmare. Thank you. No, it's good of you to offer to take me around, Mrs. Sung, because I don't recognize a single thing. Across the street from my motel is a lake. I could swear that was a lake. I used to play it for hours, but I'm not sure.
I didn't actually offer. Sam Butler asked me, or he told me.
Thank you anyway. Well, no, I like this place. It's homey.
Looking at his list.
Which one is this?
Sunny Gardens.
This is a good place for her. Don't you think so?
No, it's a private group home. There are only 12 residents here. The first place we saw would be better than this.
You said it was too big.
It is. This one is too small. Can you sit here in a house with the same 11 people, the same 11 times whatever complaints, day in and day out, morning, noon, and night, breakfast, lunch, and dinner? It's purgatory.
It's a little melodramatic. It's about half the price of the last one we visited. There's no entrance fee.
How do you know that?
I asked. Can't believe how much these places cost.
And they'll cost even more in the future when she can't care for herself anymore.
When will that be, Mrs. Sung?
Who knows? It could be months or years or tomorrow. And it's Miss Song.
Exactly. And when the time comes, how do you know there'll be a place for her? Who's going to take care of her in the meantime? You?
Mr. Lee, you're not thinking of putting her in a place right now. You can't just pluck someone out of their home after, how long has she been in that house? 20, 30 years? And put her in a strange place? I just moved my father to assisted care, and I wish I had not. It was a terrible mistake.
I already said 100 times, I am not. I don't have the time or the means right now, even if I wanted to.
Her mother loves her house. It's a little run down, but it's her home. She said it's the only thing she ever owned.
She owns it? How'd she manage to buy property?
Why not? She's deeply attached to the house. She loves the environment, the land, the outdoors. There's some cardinals, birds that visit her. Have you seen them? Oh, you have to get her to do Mrs. Cardinal for you. She actually acts out a cardinal. It's hilarious.
If I may ask you a question, what is your relationship to my mother?
I'm a social worker and a friend. I want to make sure she can stay in her own home. She is not incapable. She's not incompetent. She can make her own decisions.
There are people in town who might disagree with you. I mean, she's not exactly a reliable person, is she? She'd forget to turn off the stove, make dinner, forget to come home. Do you really think she can manage alone, even with help?
Yes, with help.
That's your professional assessment.
Yes.
Spousal abuse, Mr. Butler said. Too bad.
That was my specialty. That doesn't mean we're idiots in other areas.
I meant it's too bad she doesn't have a spouse to abuse anymore since she left Dad.
You're just like your mother, a wise guy. Oh,
What about child abuse?
can I ask you a question? What is your relationship to your mother? Are you a son or what? Sorry, that was uncalled for.
No, it's an excellent question. I'm glad you asked. I wonder about that myself. You see, I thought I was her son until one day she left the house and never came home.
What are you saying?
I said until one day she left the house and never came home.
What do you mean she left the house?
Left, as in walked out, gone. Bye-bye, mommy. She was gone to be a famous singer, by God. She went out on the road more and more, longer and longer trips, sang her way out of our lives.
She left, but she was still
Postcards from the road, money. Yep, here's $20, hugs and kisses, love you so much. A couple of times a year, she'd drop in out of the blue and take off. And she has the bloody gall to think that I would stick around to take care of her in her old age. What the hell kind of care did she give me? Special wing for Captain Billy? Bloody gall. Look, I'm not heartless. I don't want to rush her into any place. I want her to be safe and sound in a place she doesn't want to be.
End of scene. Scene 7. Morning. A couple days later. Bitter Melon Festival. Off stage is the tasting booth. A screen upstage shows the activities inside the booth. Billy waits outside the booth. He is all awry, hair and clothes disheveled and covered with dirt and leaves. He looks unwell and cold.
Billy?
Oh, Sam, what are you doing here?
Where have you been? Are you all right?
Yeah. Just
You look like you slept there. Oh, I'm over there at Stacy's booth. The stuff is actually selling, what people won't buy. Hello? I'm not hearing you. Can anybody else?
I was unmuted. Yeah, I thought Betty was helping you. You want to start the scene over? I probably dozed off.
Oh, oh, I'm over there at Stacy's booth. The stuff is actually selling. What people won't buy.
I thought Betty was helping her.
She said something came up with another client, so Janny offered my services. It's been nonstop. Where's Betty? Why didn't she come to get me? Where's Billy? Where's Billy? I had to get away from her. What were you doing at the lake?
The lake is dying, suffocating, stagnant. I saw wild animals.
Sounds like you were sleeping off a good one.
Yeah, I'm also having a tired with my scroll. I'll be right there, I promise you. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what part of the world or universe or what century I was in.
Deer, raccoons, a skunk, maybe. Any animals were dead, I'm sure.
Rotting.
Going to be dredged for a recreational spot. It's part of our development plan. We have big plans for this town. Are you all right?
Sure. Have you ever done this tasting booth thing?
It's ridiculous, if you ask me. People go into the booth. They taste honeydew melon and smile. Then they eat bitter melon, make horrible faces, and gag and look like they're going to retch. All the while, a video camera is taping them so other people can watch.
What's the point?
Some kids, they call it performance art.
We have that down under too.
We have a considerable Asian subpopulation nearby. They grow things I'd never heard of. Bitter melon. Looks like a disease, all covered in warts. And the taste.
My father used to grow them.
Yes, he had a wonderful garden behind your house.
They're very nutritious, possibly medicinal.
Really? He was quite a man. Very educated. I had the good fortune of being able to call him a friend. Maybe his only friend toward the end.
I wasn't able to come. No, my wife was expecting.
He had a very good life here. Brian and Martha visited quite often. We can talk about it later. Listen, I have some news. I got a call from Sunny Gardens. They don't know how to find you, and they have an available room.
A small place with 12 people?
Yes, the group home. They can't hold the space for more than a few days, so you have to act fast.
A few days?
It won't be easy. Stacy has to agree. Otherwise, it can be messy. You're the only person who can make her agree to go.
I'm the last person who can do that.
She doesn't have to move in a few days, just a deposit to hold the room.
What did Betty say to you?
Nothing. Aren't you looking for a place for Stacy?
She said she thought Stacy could live alone with help for a while.
Betty is an idiot sometimes. I didn't mean that. Look, Billy, you want her to go in when she can walk in on her own two legs, not when she has to be carried in. An opportunity has come up. You want to consider it. Betty and Mrs. M enter. Betty carries a bag with bunches of bedraggled plant arrangements drooping out. Mrs.
Sorry. What's happening is I've got a different script, so I was waiting for
Me
Billy
too.
to say.
We
All right.
all have different scripts.
Yeah,
There's 3, 4
that's-
different scripts.
Yeah, that's not. Okay, so let me read the directions. Betty and Mrs. M enter. Betty carries a bag with bunches of bedraggled plant arrangements drooping out.
Where the hell you been? You've been gone for 2 days.
Don't talk to me like that. Do you understand? Don't you ever?
Look, only a few left. She almost sold out, didn't you, Mrs. M?
No, I got tired standing there alone after you ran off.
Now, Stacy, I had to answer nature's call. You have to respect that.
I gave most of them away.
We paid $20 for ours, and that was 4 years ago. It fell apart in a week.
Oh, yours was fancy, Sam, with braids and bows and flowers. I can't do that kind of work anymore.
Where have you been, Mr. Lee?
Oh,
Rolling on the ground,
been walking around.
sightseeing.
In a sense. Went to grammar school, junior high school, Baptist church, Loritz Bakery, looking. Went to see our old house.
What'd you do that for?
I wanted to see it. It was amazing. There was natural light, sunlight inside the house. I could see it strike the windows. I could see people inside moving around in the light. The rooms were filled with light.
What's so amazing about that?
But I remember it as completely dark. It was always night. There were no lights in the house. It was a house with no light.
Well,
Well,
everybody goes set for the tasting booth. It just cracks me up.
count me out. Don't forget the party for Janny this afternoon.
Billy, you're shivering. Are you all right?
How could we forget? It's Janie's birthday. You remember Janie Milklucksky, don't you? She's a Janie Butler now. You probably remember her chocolate chip cookies.
Betty's pretty good in that area too. Betty, did you?
Yes, Sam. It's in a cake box in a cooler in the car.
Betty makes a sinful chocolate cake. Since you're done for the day, I think I'll be heading back home.
You can't leave yet. You got to do the tasting booth.
No, thank you. Bye-bye.
Billy, do you want to get something hot to drink? Sam, you stay here with Mrs. M, okay?
Betty and
where you
Billy
going?
exit.
Billy, where you going? Don't leave me here alone.
Hurry up, you two. I got to get back home.
You come back here right now. God damn it. He hates me. He hates me. We'll never be right. Nothing I do is right. He blames me until the day I die.
You don't go halfway around the world to see someone you hate.
He does. He came here to spite me. He doesn't want to forgive me. That's what keeps him going. He came here to get back at me.
What can you expect?
Oh, shut up, Sam. Don't you tell me what kind of mother I was or wasn't. He was a big boy. He could have gone with me. Why did he go with me?
On the road? That's it. I've had enough of you to last a lifetime.
Butler goes into the booth. He faces the camera awkwardly. Billy and Betty enter. Billy sips from a big container.
Sam,
Mrs. M points to the screen where we see Sam eating up the sweet melon. They watch, laugh. Sam exits the booth.
Delicious melon.
Hey, you didn't touch the bitter stuff.
It's all yours. Who's next?
no, thank you. Billy?
Billy goes through the routine as they watch, laugh.
Go to hell.
He has a cultural advantage.
What does that mean?
The mouse ate all the sweet melon.
Billy exits the booth and runs off stage, hand over his mouth.
Maybe not. Okay, Mrs. M, get ready. Age before beauty.
Where'd he go now, God damn it?
I think he went to wash out his mouth.
I will go until he comes back. Billy! Billy!
Oh, here. Pipe down.
Watch me, Billy. I'm going to be on TV. Here we go. Ta-ta!
Mrs. M goes in, mugs for the camera, picks up a piece of melon and pops it in her mouth.
What a character.
Yeah, boring clown. Thanks for your help.
You just all the help you can get.
She's choking.
Mrs. M swallows, chokes, and starts gagging and coughing. At first, the others laugh, but she can't stop coughing. Her face seizes up. She falls. Billy runs into the booth, followed by Betty and Sam. The screen shows a jumble of activity. Betty performs the Heimlich maneuver. Billy and Sam carry her out.
She's choking.
Easy, easy. Set her down here.
Is it out? Did you see it come out?
Betty does the Heimlich maneuver again. A piece of melon spills out of Mrs. M's mouth. She coughs and gasps for air.
Billy.
I'm right here, Ma. I'm right here.
Should I get a doctor?
No, it's out.
Take it easy, Stacy. Don't try to speak.
Mrs. M slowly sits up, recovers, looks around at everybody.
Some strong melon. What they put in that melon? Oh,
Betty and
Oh.
Sam laugh. She tries to stand with Betty supporting one side, Sam the other. Her arm and leg on one side sag.
Uh-oh.
We have to get her to a doctor.
Oh, no, doctor, no, doctor. Oh, Billy, Billy, take me home.
Take her
Billy.
arm, Billy. I'll bring your car around.
Sam exits.
Billy, are you all right?
Yeah.
Billy takes Stacy's other arm.
Where's my Billy? Where are you, Billy?
End of scene. Scene 8. Later that night, Mrs. M's house.
How long have you been having these spells?
Where's my Billy?
Long while, short while?
I don't know.
Well, let me see you move your fingers, that hand. Make a fist, open it, squeeze my hand. Ow.
See, I'm fine. I'm just tired.
Why don't you lie down and take a nap?
Will you stay here?
I'll be right here.
Where
Are
did
you
Billy go?
Sam?
Why isn't he back?
I told you he went over to talk with Sam. He'll be back soon.
How do you know?
Because he told me, Mrs. M.
Why do you call me Mrs. M? There was
Oh, there was a character in a famous movie. She took care of a young girl named Dorothy who was an orphan, and her name was Auntie M. You're kind of like her.
I'm like I'm a movie star.
You are kind of like a movie star. Mrs. M,
Yeah.
why did you leave your family?
Huh?
Why did you leave your family and Billy?
No, I never left Billy. No, no, no.
You didn't?
I never left him. I left my husband. He didn't want me to do a single thing. He expected me to be a good Chinese wife. Now, how the hell was I going to do that? When I started going out in gigs, he nearly split a gizzard. But I never left Billy. He was always with me, except when he disappeared. He just disappeared if I did something wrong.
You disappeared.
I was very busy. I had a lot of things I had to do. I never left Billy. No, I never
You
left
left
him.
him.
I never left him. I would never do that. No, 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 no. Oh, you're mad at me, are you? Are you going to leave me now?
I'm going to the kitchen to look for something edible. Try to sleep, okay?
Betty exits the kitchen. We hear sound of cupboard doors open and close. Billy, outside, knocks on the door. Betty steps outside.
How is she?
She's lying down. I think it was a TIA.
Yeah, that's what we thought too. Would you wake her, Miss Sung? I'm taking her to the medical center.
Right now?
I'm leaving soon, so I don't have much time. I want to have her thoroughly checked out and settled before I leave.
Settled? What do you mean?
She can't live alone now. You know that.
Visiting nurses.
She'll need 24-hour care. Her shack needs total renovation. Who can afford all that? Are you going to be her living nurse / maid? There's no other way. She can't live alone now.
I know.
Miss Sung, did you know about her episodes?
Oh, for goodness sake, call me Betty. Oh, she never fell. She never blanked out. She never spaced out. She'd get little dizzy spells once in a while. She told me about them herself. I should have. Damn.
Don't blame yourself.
I was worried about the candles. I threw out everything flammable I could find.
It is for the best.
Why are you leaving so suddenly?
I have to get back to my kids. I have to protect myself. I'm dying.
It's been really hard on you, hasn't it?
Hey, I've got to get some food in me. How about you?
There's nothing edible to be found. Ramen. Do you like ramen?
Oh,
Hey, how about cake?
cake? The sinful cake?
Still in the car. Sometimes I like cake for dinner.
Why is it sinful?
Oh, it's 3 layers of dark chocolate with hazelnut mousse between the layers and a marzipan core. I bought the marzipan, but I made the hazelnut mousse from hazelnuts I ground up myself. Would you like some?
Would I like some? Absolutely, yes.
Betty exits. Billy sits, then lies down on the porch with a deep groan.
Sometimes I live in the country. Sometimes I live in town. Sometimes I get a great notion to jump into the river and drown.
Betty returns with cake box, paper plates, and forks. Billy quickly sits up. She takes out the cake and serves out big slices.
Holy Toledo, it's beautiful. You should be on Top Chef.
Oh, maybe I'm in the wrong profession. Here you go. Oh, I hope you like it.
She dives in. Billy takes a moderate bite.
Oh my God! It's beautiful. It's delicious.
He puts down the fork, sinks down, and stares at it.
What about Janie and Sam?
Oh, I made 2. They've got theirs.
Wow. Let me at it.
End of scene.
No, not yet.
No.
Okay, I've got the wrong script again.
That's all right. Is something wrong with it?
No, there's a multiple scripts. That's the problem.
Question to Billy.
No.
Is something wrong with it?
It's perfect.
Are you all right?
I'm very tired.
Eats for a while.
Billy, what's the matter?
It's the most loving cake I've ever had in my life.
Huh?
I can't. It's too
rich, isn't it? I'll see if there's some milk.
No, it's not too rich. It's perfect.
And what's the matter?
It's too good for me. I can't. I can't eat such food.
Billy puts his head in his hands and starts to weep. End of scene. Scene 9. A few days later, early evening, Billy and Mrs. M, in a wheelchair, are at Sunny Gardens. She doesn't look at him. He is trying to be upbeat.
Better stay away from the bitter melon after this. Your face started to turn blue, Betty. Betty was really up on her Heimlich maneuver. Pretty impressive, don't you think?
Mini stroke.
Right. Mini strokes are common. He said scary, but not serious yet. But you have to take all the drugs he prescribed. Do you think you can do all that, Stacy?
Why do you call me Stacy? Ever since you got here, you call me Stacy.
That's your name, isn't it? What'd you expect me to call you? Mother?
You call me Ma at the festival.
You've got to do what the doctor says or you'll get a big stroke. That's very serious. Do you understand?
Why did you bring me here? I hate it here. Did you see that lady with her head stooped down all over her chest.
She probably fell asleep.
She probably was decrepit, and the others leaning over like the Tower of Pisa.
It's just a couple of days. Yeah, the doctor wants you to stay where someone can keep an eye on you. You've got a dozen medications to take at different times of the day. How are you going to keep track of all that?
You're going to leave me here. I know it. I just know it.
Don't be ridiculous.
Yes, you want to leave me here.
I'm not going to leave you here.
Yes, you are.
Look, for your information, Joe Nichols is working on the house right now, patching up the leaks and cracks and painting everything so it'll be nice and new.
You mean, are you staying? Oh, Billy.
No. What are you, nuts? A private wing for Captain Billy. You're too much. Did you think I'd stay around to empty your bedpans? For Christ's
Mrs.
For
M.
Christ's sake, I was kidding.
For
When did you get
Christ's
so
sake, I
sensitive?
was kidding. When did you get so sensitive?
Oh.
I was.
Why did you just go? Go on. Get going.
I've got plenty of time. Do you want me to push you inside? It's getting chilly.
I can walk by myself. Don't kill time with me. Just get going. Scram. Get.
Thanks a lot. Just a stray mangy mutt. I always felt like that around you.
You want to go? You know you do. Why did you just go?
I came halfway around the world. We haven't spent much more than an hour together. I was hoping maybe we could spend just a little pleasant time together. Chat, catch up on the decades. Act a little civil. Must be a lot of things to say. I can't think of a single thing. Oh, yes. I'm leaving tonight.
Tonight? Oh, no.
I have to get back.
You haven't been here a day.
I've been here for more than 2 weeks.
But you never told me about your family, your kids. Tell me about your kids.
You want to know about my kids? Really?
I'm your grandma. How many do you have?
3.
3, just like us. Don't you have pictures in your wallet?
I tried to show them to you a dozen times. Yeah. This is Joanne, the oldest. She's 20. This is my.
Goodness. That's older than you. I mean, but you always be 12 years old. And we're singing and walking together by Stewart's Bridge.
How old am I, Stacy?
You're 40, 50 something.
Close enough. This is Suzanne. She's 15. She looks a little like you.
She has my nose. She's prettier though. I had looks, but I was never pretty. Your Asian kids are always so pretty.
And that's Jacob, little Jake. He's 12.
Little Jake, he looks like your father, the high forehead. He looks more Chinese than the girls. Isn't that interesting? Are you a good father, Billy?
Yes, I try to be.
I think your father was a good father, just like Mr. Cardinal. Where's your wife?
Eleanor, she left me.
I'm sorry, Billy.
Mm-hmm. That's when it all came back.
What?
Hadn't paid attention to it in years. Knocked me arse over it.
What? You said it all came back.
You
Me?
leaving. Walking out on Dad and me.
I did not walk out on you.
So much piss and bile inside me. I better go before I say.
Now don't you stop that shit. I didn't leave you. I never left you. You left me.
You left me.
You were my sweet, sweet Billy, and then you changed. You became your daddy's boy. You didn't want any of me anymore, and that just.
I didn't want your daddy's boy. Or your sweet, sweet Billy. What? Why did I have to be one or the other?
That just killed me.
What about me? All you can think about is your stinking selfish self.
Don't you dare talk to me like that. I'm your mother. I taught you better manners than that. Talking to your mother like that.
Oh, you're too much. Always putting on an act. You think I owe you some filial respect? You drag me around with you everywhere, like your pocketbook. It was just something to put all your junk in it. You never stopped pouring your junk into my head about dad, about being a wasted artist, your wasted life. It's too late for me. Boo-hoo-hoo, like it was my fault.
Are you shut your goddamn mouth? You don't know what you're talking about.
I was a kid sitting backstage with those hairy people. Dad waiting in the parking lot, worrying about him exploding like a landmine, worried about you having a bad show, all flashing teeth and smiles and swishing your big mane around, always looking to see who was looking at you, as if the show was bad. Silence for days, like you were dead if the show was. And what was I to do? I didn't know what to do. I felt so bad, so scared. I always felt so bad.
It wasn't my fault. Don't blame me. You can't blame me for everything.
I blame you for everything.
What the hell do you want from me? Nothing's going to make a difference. Nothing's going to make a difference with you. You'll never forgive me.
I want you to take responsibility, that's all. Take responsibility.
What the hell does that mean? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is that what you want me to say? I'm saying it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry.
Shut up. If you say sorry one more time, I'm going to kill you. Shut up.
He storms toward her, about to bash her, then veers into the woods. We hear him thrashing about. The thrashing stops. He sobs, deep howling gut level. He listens, horrified.
Billy, Billy, I didn't know. I didn't know.
She weeps silently. His sobbing subsides. We hear the sounds of the night, a bird, distant rain, train. The sky suddenly lights up.
It's raining stars. Oh my. Oh my.
Look, it's a meteor shower.
It just as suddenly ceases. They stare in silence.
That was absolutely fantastic.
Oh no, come back. Please come back.
That was perfect.
He collapses
No,
onto
you're
the
gonna leave me
ground.
now.
He collapses onto the ground, spent, stares at the sky.
You're gonna leave me now. We'll probably never see each other again. Billy, I thought about you every single day. We were always
What are you
talking
doing
and
down
laughing
there?
together. What?
What are you
If I
doing?
wasn't there, you were always on my mind.
Stop your blathering. Look at the sky.
Billy, before your father died, he bought the house. He asked Sam to find me so I would have a place to live as long as I needed it.
I know. Sam told me.
It belongs to the three of you. It's in his will. You can sell it. The land is probably worth tons.
Sam is putting it on the market.
So why is he?
Sam, he's the executor of Dad's will. I'll wager it all go to Sunny Gardens.
Sunny Gardens?
That's his place.
No, Billy, the stocks. It's not tons, but it's a lot of money. It's in your name, just your name.
Why just me?
You were the littlest.
Thank you. My kids thank you.
We'll probably never see each other again.
Maybe not. You never know. I could get hit by lightning right this second on a clear evening as I stand here, then evaporate. Poof. Or you could get hit by lightning and evaporate.
Poof. Or hit by a meteorite.
Right.
You saved my life, Billy.
Yes, I did. You almost got bopped on the head.
Oh, that would have made a nasty puddle of Stacy.
Nasty puddle of Stacy.
I'm so happy I can still make you laugh, Billy. Look.
She
You
takes
took
the
it with you
rock
to
out of the bag.
You took it with you to the hospital?
Would you like to have it?
Yes. Thank you. It's a nice rock.
It's a nice rock.
Jakey would really like this.
You be sure to tell him the story about how you saved my life.
I will. You want me to push you inside now?
I'd like to stay out a bit and look at the sky. Would you have someone fetch me?
Okay,
Billy, take care of yourself, will you?
of course. Well, sure.
Billy,
Sure, I will. You too. What?
I wish
Yeah.
I wish I could have done better. I did what I knew I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll be in touch.
You will, you'll be in touch.
Yes, I will.
End of scene. Scene 10, nighttime. The forest clearing fills the whole stage. Young Billy and Miss M sit on a boulder near the bridge and the stream.
Let's sing the song, the one about the old lady who swallows animals. You start.
I know an old lady who swallowed a
Oh, God, I'm losing you. What happened?
opened her throat and swallowed a goat. She
Goat,
swallowed
yes.
the goat to catch the
Cat.
she
No, to
swallowed
dog.
the dog to catch the cat. She swallowed the cat to catch the
Bird.
bird. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider that wiggled and jiggled and wiggled inside of her.
There was an old lady who swallowed a tricycle.
A tricycle. Look at you, my Billy. You become such a fine young man. How old are you now?
10, 12, 40, 50.
That's wonderful. She swallowed the tricycle to catch the goat. She swallowed the goat to catch the dog. She swallowed the dog
to catch the cat.
Lights and singing fade. Lights up on the real world. Mrs. M is sitting in a lawn chair at Sunny Gardens, eyes closed. Betty calls from off stage.
Mrs. M, mail from Yanaki, Australia.
Oh, Betty, it's wonderful to see you. What does he say?
This one's from little Jake.
Oh boy. Oh boy. What does he say? What does he say?
Now hold your horses. Let me sit down, please.
You sit down yet?
Almost. Yes, I am now sat down. Now, where did I put that? Where was that letter? Where did I put it?
What does he say?
Oh, it's in my hand. Dear Stacy, Daddy says we have a brand new grandma who lives up over.
Up over. Oh, isn't that the cleverest thing in the world? He's going to be a writer. What
End
else
of-
does he say? What else does he say?
End
Here,
of
you read it. Jackie?
You say I never knew I had one. He's going to be a writer, and then Betty says she's talking for him. He says I never knew I had one. He said he went to America and he found you in the woods.
End of play.
We all have different scripts for some strange reason. Okay, that's the end of that play.
Thank you all
End of
very
play.
much. Well done. Thanks for, thank you so much, Kitty, for sharing it. I don't know. Yeah, we did have a little confusion of some
Yeah.
different versions, it appears. And I know that's one of the things. And as I know, as my father's a playwright, that there's constantly, there's so often revisions, and then you end up with different versions of the play out there. But thank you so much, Kitty. Is there anything you want to say or?
Thank you, actors. It was great. It was great to hear.
Jackie, you were hysterical. Some of this play is very funny.
Yes.
You,
Yeah, I like the play very much. I just got a little stuck because here and there everybody was in a different script. I was scared because I was afraid I'd jump over people or something.
The whole bit with the social worker, I loved at the beginning. That whole scene's just
Well, everybody's always great all the time. We're nice readers, but it's a really, really nice play.
the writing
Next
of it.
time, give
Kitty,
everybody the same
yes.
script. That would help.
Thank
Kitty,
you.
the writing was gorgeous. Some of the
Thank you.
writing is just so powerful. It's really. Thank you for letting me be part of it. It's a good play.
Yes. Thank
Have you
you.
done it yet? Have you produced it anywhere?
No, this is the first time I've heard the whole thing.
Oh, it's good. I think it's a good play.
Mhm.
I sent it to a few places and I'm waiting to hear.
Mhm.
It's got a lot of openings and questions and self-exploration in it, and that's what I like about it. It leaves a lot of. It's a play that people would be able to receive on different levels according to whatever they ready to receive from it, and that's why I really like it.
Thank you for saying that. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I think you got a good piece there. I remember when I saw. You ever see? I'm not. Do you know the play Night Mother?
Yes. I hate it.
A lot of people hate
Right.
that play.
It's very well done, but it's so sad.
Well, a lot of people hate it because it's like the futility of life. And like one guy told me he saw it when he saw it on Broadway. He said, I felt like getting up there and smacking her. And I said, what the hell's wrong with you? You want to kill yourself? And she's going to do it. It's like you're watching and you're reading all her reasons. And it's 90 minutes. And then at the end, she does exactly what she said she's going to do at the beginning. And it's like.
I saw the movie. I read the play many times and see lots of pieces from it.
Yeah.
But it's so sad having to be a mother with a daughter who's openly committing suicide with you around and saying goodbye to you and everything else, and you can't stop her.
Kathy Bates and Ann Petaniak, I was told, used to pray every night before doing it because they were doing it 8 times a week.
Oh, God.
And playing that 8
It's
times
kind
a
of
week.
like the rabbit hole. Do you know Down the Rabbit Hole, the one where the little boy has been ran after a dog outside? The gate was open. He gets hit by a car, and the grandmother and the mother and the family.
Well, I wanted to make this basically positive, and I wanted humor. I wanted a lot of fun, but I wanted it at the same time to be to explore family trials, because there's so much of it. So
Yeah, no, and I think it is a lot of things that are of concern of a lot of people these days, as we have an aging population and figuring out how to, keep them where they want to be or put them where it's best for them. I mean, this is, and it's
No,
a,
if you
at
don't
first
expect
I thought it was going to be about that,
and they are.
and then
That's why I love the way I love her. I got to look at that opening scene. This first scene between her and the social worker is just dynamite. I was in hysterics. I was like rooting for her.
She's putting me on. I mean, she's playing with me. Like,
Very funny. Good writing.
yes,
I guess,
yes, I agree.
she's thumbing her nose at me, and I'm kind of.
I forgot my cup in my.
I'm kind of
I forgot
based
some
off of
props.
A very proper
here.
social worker.
Got my cup. Brandy
We're
cup.
wearing pumps, wearing medical pumps. Anyway, what was I saying? I forgot.
Oh, originally you thought the play was going to be about like putting a person in a home, but it ends up
Yes.
being much more about the family
Originally,
dynamics.
I had a
And,
scene in a home, and then I lost interest in that. I really wanted to the center of the play.
It was about a relationship with a mother who.
The center of this
was-
play is between the son and the daughter, son and the mother, and that I wanted that to be the central part. And so the other part
Yeah.
was is also there.
hmm
But
yeah, and it is.
it was a lot of things. A mother who really wanted to be a performer and was tied to somebody who was like a patriarch, or who wanted. I wouldn't say patriarch, but he wanted a family and wanted his wife home, and she was too restless for that. So it ended up that the kids were left without her a lot, and I'm sure the father had an attitude about that, which fed off on them. And that happens, even though if the mother, it's okay if the mother wants to be a performer and goes off and she comes back and goes off, but if the other parent makes it so that she's so wrong, that will feed into it and make them feel like they were abandoned rather than this is mom's life and she'll be back again, and she'll be around and she'll take us with. But he was the kind of person who was too strict, it seems, in terms of relating to them about where she's at. So yeah, that's where some of the problems are too. Depends on how they relate to it, because a lot of people come from theater families. Rock musicians travel all the time with family.
Yeah, this is a particular family. The father is a professor up at State, and he's Chinese. Don't forget that.
But his culture wanted the woman at home. So he probably made her look like somebody who was really abandoning everybody. They could have worked it out, but it seems like they did not work it out well. That's some of the problems in families with performers. Then problems with people, even female executives and men who go off all the time and work. You have problems there, and you have to deal with them. So it's an interesting subject where you have to learn how to deal in families with both having children and professions and not treating the other one like they're a piece of trash.
Is there anything that you think needs something improvement, or something's missing, or
I would.
clarification?
Yeah, let me chime in. I had this interesting area where there was an interesting area in the piece where the son was talking about dying, and it kind of left me hanging as to what the problem was with him, because he was disheveled, he was cold and tense.
That was really a scene missing in between. Before that, he spends the night at the lake. That scene, that's a crucial scene.
Yeah, I was muted for the beginning of it too. I didn't realize it was muted, so you didn't hear it, did you?
You didn't hear anything.
No, all I know is that he said I'm dying, and it wasn't really explored as to what was going on with him, which is one of the reasons why he was a little bit standoffish with his mother, because he had some issues too, which weren't really addressed. So it was very mysterious for me, and I really wanted to see if you could explore his angle, why he said he was dying, and what did that mean? Because when you say somebody,
he had spent the night sitting by the lake, looking at his former house across the lake and seeing lights there, being brought back to his childhood. There's a voice, this wasn't read. A man comes out of the house and calls to him in Chinese, Billy, Jing. It's just.
No, I didn't have that script was not given to me. No, I had the other version of your.
I didn't have that either.
Okay, you all got the wrong.
I thought he was dying for the situation is killing him. I didn't think he was dying from cancer.
I might have sent you the wrong. I might have sent you not the most recent script.
Yeah, that's a problem, because I think people want to follow the story, which is my job, is to give them what you can't show, is to give them the vision of what you want them to see. That's why I'm talking the stage direction. So I guess that was completely missing. So that's why I didn't know what he meant by he was dying.
Yeah, he sat by the lake all night, watched the house, and had thoughts.
Don't I say it earlier though? Doesn't he say it earlier?
No, not in my script.
Okay.
Not in my version. No.
Because I thought I'd have to look at it again, because I do.
I would have read it.
Yeah, saying it. Another. You see, we had different versions then, because I think I did say it at one point to her, didn't I?
Say what?
I'm dying.
Yeah, you said that, but I thought it was just the situation was killing you.
Right.
Yeah.
What you have to do.
It was the situation. He was not actually dying.
Right. So that's just what you meant by that.
Yeah, because I'm like, you're dying, and then you're talking about him being disheveled and worn and tense. So obviously he's coming in with problems that we don't know anything about.
Well, he might have been dying at the moment, being in the situation that he was in, because he did call it a nightmare also.
Stress, yeah.
And I think probably might have been brought up some feelings of death within him, revisiting some things. Is that what you meant, Kitty? I'm not sure. It's one of those things where an actor makes the decision, or did you have an intent when you said that? What was your intent when he says to her he's dying?
Well, he spent the whole night by the lake.
No, it was earlier than that. It wasn't the lake scene. Don't I say it to her earlier? I have to look at the script again. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I think you do.
Right. When do I say? And
Back after 40 years or whatever
Yeah.
it's been, and facing your mother, whom you have such rage against.
so that's what you meant by I'm dying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you come in the door, I think when you first enter, you say, I'm dying.
Yeah.
This is killing me.
Right.
And he comes because his wife has just left him.
Yeah. Right.
This has triggered off the whole
Hmm.
thing. And maybe that's not clear enough. He only says that at the end, she left me. And then that opened up this whole, that opened up a whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
Pandora's
That was
box.
good. That was good.
Is that?
Yeah. No, I threw it away on purpose, kind of accidentally on purpose, and then I went with it because I thought that's what actually was the right choice. The line reading came out. You do a reading of these things, and you just go with where you're at. So I remember when I first gave you that line at the end, I threw it away, and then I went with that because I figured that's fine. People do that all the time in life.
Yeah. So are there any final comments anybody wants to make before I end the YouTube live stream? Well, thank you so much, Kitty, for doing this. And
Thank you
and
so
thank
much.
you all for participating. And this was
Much to
fun.
think about.